there, my name's Lysha Holmes and I'm the business owner and founder of a recruitment firm based in Ramsbottom in Bury called Qui Recruitment, and that's QUI, standing for Quality, Urgency and Integrity. And I'm really keen to share my story because I'm hoping it will give some of you an insight into how your sliding door moment might change your career forever and how it's important to always keep a positive frame of mind. So in order to understand a little bit more about me, I'm Lysha Holmes. I grew up in Prestwich, went to Bury Grammar School from the age of 11, and I actually continued there for sixth form. And I was definitely an arts and humanities girl. I absolutely loved English literature, RE, philosophy, history, and those were all my sort of core subjects for A-levels. Did very well in my GCSEs. I was one of the first years to actually do them back in 1990, so showing my age there. And when I moved to the A-level structure, I actually really struggled with the format of basically condensing effectively all my educational career into a 3-hour exam. And I actually had panic attacks in my exams, my A-levels. I can still remember now sitting there and my mind just went totally blank as I sat and did my 3 A-level exams in the summer of 1992, and I failed. Effectively, I didn't get the grades that I needed to go to university. I was actually down to do a broadcasting degree. That's the route I wanted to go down. I wanted to go into sort of TV, radio, in a broadcasting career, whether that was journalistic, whether that was in a more creative capacity. So I was faced with a real dilemma as I failed, what options were available to me. And Bury Grammar at the time was quite academically focused. It wasn't about vocational careers. So I then spent a week calling around every college, every further education place in the northwest. And managed to get myself into a college, a technical college, and I actually started an HND, High National Diploma, and that was in business and finance. And although it wasn't the sort of glamorous university life that I thought I was going to get, actually the course itself really suited my style of learning, which is very much on the job. I'm a very consistent person rather than cramming into an exam. So it's definitely something to think about. So during my first year of HND, one of the topics that I enjoyed particularly was marketing. I found that I had a natural flair for it. I also naturally sort of steered towards what was called personnel management, which of course is now HR, which is quite ironic given I'm in recruitment. So the HND business and finance I felt gave me a really good grounding, and it was a brilliant course. There were so many different assets to it, and you had the finance aspect, you had the economics aspect. There were also things like the technical aspect and designing databases, that sort of thing, which just didn't really interest me, but it gave me a good overview. And at the end of my first year, when everyone else went back to their part-time jobs to just, in pubs and shops, just to make sure they earned loads of money for the summer, I was given the opportunity through the college to do a work placement, which meant I earned, I think it was £50 a week. So it wasn't very well paid, but to go and actually work in marketing. And I did the whole 6-week summer. I worked in a marketing role for a financial services provider, and it gave me an amazing insight into what the actual job of marketing was. So enjoyed it, in fact, that at the end of it they said, look, when you finish your HND, come back to us and we'll talk to you about potentially getting a job with us, but as an IFA rather than in marketing. And did my second year, did exceptionally well in my HND, actually got distinctions because again it was project focused, so I'd focus in on each subject. And at the end of the year, before we'd actually finished and got our marks, they invited in a lot of local employers to talk through the placement I'd done the year before. And during that evening, a number of employees came up to me and said, we were so impressed with what you did for the financial services company, would you come and interview with us? We're looking for a marketing coordinator. So before I'd actually technically even finished, I got a job in marketing. Now that role, started it without really a clue as to what I was actually doing. So a little bit of a charlatan, and imposter syndrome is something that will continue through your life. You have to just work through, push yourself out of your comfort zone, and definitely find mentors in your life that will help you each time you have to push yourself beyond each comfort zone. It might be somebody different each time, but surround yourself and always keep learning from those people around you. I certainly do, and I'm in my 40s. So I then worked for this business for about 8 months. The role was actually a lot more than just marketing. It was telesales, it was field sales, it was a lot more than just doing strategic marketing. And unfortunately, the business actually went into liquidation, and it threw me into a different role totally, where I was a bit stuck. So I went to work for a Manchester-based property management company, nothing to do with creative or marketing, which is where I wanted to be. But actually, it was very operational and it gave me very good structure. It was managing hundreds and hundreds of properties across a portfolio, so I could still use my creative flair. And it's about using your skills in different ways and leveraging that when you work through your career. So where do I find myself now? So I've been working for 26 years. 22 of those years have been in the recruitment sector, and I recruit for the recruitment industry. So every single day I use my creativity, I use my marketing skills. If you go back to my HND, I'm using my personnel management, or HR as it is now, the financial side, advising clients, negotiating terms, invoicing people. So you choose a course that you think, don't just go for the route that all your friends are doing. Think about what's right for you. Obviously we have social media all over how we operate now as business people. It doesn't matter what your job is. So potentially you might be the same as me. You might just find yourself on LinkedIn all the time, but you might also use other forms of social media, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. There'll be other ways for you to communicate to your customer base or to your clientele. And it's always using and thinking creatively and having a strategy to that and a purpose to that. So I think that my advice would be, if you are looking at your future career, don't close any doors. Always remember that it's a very small world out there, so always go back to people, always reply to people, treat people with kindness and respect, keep learning, build a community around yourself of like-minded people, and never stop learning. I hope that helps. And if anybody wants to connect to me on LinkedIn, you can come and find me. All the links will be on here, and I wish you all the best and take care.